I don't know. If you want a flashback, I was thinking we could take it back to the 90s.
Okay.
You like 90s. You were a 90s boy, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Like, I was born in the 80s, and I love me some 80s music and 80s movies and 80s slang and things like that. But my formative years would have been the 90s.
Did you have a particular clothing wear you would have been wearing in the 90s?
Hypercolor t-shirts.
For real?
I love me some hypercolor t-shirts. That was early 90s, though.
Okay.
Mid 90s would have been No Fear.
Okay. No Fear was still big in the 2000s too.
Yeah.
I
didn't realize, I think in hindsight, No Fear probably made me some sort of white supremacist.
What was your option for pants?
Well, I mostly wore Levi's.
Really? In the 90s?
Yeah.
Baggy ones?
A little baggier. I generally bought silver tabs because they were higher quality and with a little more room.
Zipper or button?
No, I can't do button.
You couldn't do button? I love button flies.
Yeah, you can't. My hands refuse to figure it out.
Did you figure out the word yet?
I always feared that with a button fly, things would not happen quickly enough when I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. There were some brands like
when they're fully broken in, then it almost works like a zipper when you undo it.
Yeah, they're better. They're actually better when they're broken in. But I thought we could take it back to the 90s. So I don't know. Put your arms around me, baby, because I just want to fly.
Oh, that's where we went?
Yeah.
So what's the word?
Fly.
Oh, got it.
You're pretty fly for a white guy.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I don't think I was the person Dexter was talking about, but maybe.
All right.
Not Dexter from the TV show. Dexter Holland, the lead singer of what's that band?
I was kind of hoping it was Dexter from the TV show.
Oh. What's that band?
What's that band? You don't remember the band's name? The Offspring?
There it is.
But yeah, his name's Matt.
His name is not Matt.
Okay. And he is pretty fly for a white guy.
Oh, he's Dan.
You gonna put your arms around me, baby?
No. I'm starting to think just from...
Do you think Mark McGrath would put his arms around me, baby?
Probably. He's probably led a lot of lonely years since the hits. I'm starting to think that we really need to switch to video so that like we can curtail these sexual advances a little bit. Anyway, this is
so I'm gonna have to start wearing pants now.
I mean, you should have never not been wearing pants.
What about the tank
I'm
tops?
so serious about that I'm willing to use a double negative to get there. But in the spirit of no pants, this is Hangout
with your sling out.
Let's get fly.
All right. Did you ever use fly?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I might still, honestly. Like, I like the word fly. I don't know that it's super descriptive or meaningful, but yeah, I am almost positive I still, from time to time, say, "Oh, that's fly."
Fly is one of those words that has a bunch of definitions.
Sure.
Like we got the bug.
Mm-hmm. Not just a bug, but Jeff Goldblum.
We got the movie, and then we have your
that scene is so gross. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. We have the penis window. The fly is your jeans, right?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Never called it a penis window, but
you didn't?
No.
Well, you didn't wear button flies. I wore button flies. And
they
have little windows.
It's almost like it's also more the penis curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Because the penis window, like that would always be able to be seen through.
Gotcha.
Without curtains. So you're opening the curtains so that doesn't matter. Go ahead.
And also, like, you got to fly like an eagle, like an iron eagle, which is technically the better 80s movie about jets and shit.
Oh, hot take.
No, it's a dumb take. That's not even close.
No.
I remember watching Iron Eagle being so excited, and then I was like, I love the soundtrack, but I was just like, fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's I don't know how much you watch college sports, but there's I think he's a football announcer named Ian Eagle. It's Ian, but he pronounces it Ian. And so that's always really confusing to me when he introduces himself and I'm not like looking at the screen. I'm
Does
like,
he
ooh, Iron Eagle's coming up. No.
Does he look like Louis Gossett Jr.?
He doesn't not look like, no, he doesn't look anything like
Oh, okay.
He's just kind of a nerdy little white guy.
Okay. And then Fly did that come around in the 90s where Fly meant you were, I guess, technically cool and hip?
I don't want to attribute it to anything, but if I did, I would say that it gained its popularity due to things like In Living Color.
Really? You think so?
Well, they had the Fly Girls, right?
Oh, shit. Yes, they did. We've talked about In Living Color a bunch and never mentioned the Fly Girl. Because didn't J-Lo start from there?
I was going to say, wasn't Jennifer Lopez one of the Fly Girls?
Yeah.
Also funny how like these pop sensations start as members of dance troupes and then become pop sensations.
That's with Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
The, what was it? The Laker Girls?
Yeah, she was a Laker girl. Or an original Laker girl.
Yeah. Let's see. Fly. Fashionable, stylish, attractive. Oh my God, it's me. Am I pretty fly for a white guy?
No.
Could my voice get any higher on that? Hang on. Am I pretty fly for a white guy? Oh. Got myself horny on that one.
What's your middle name?
Fly, the sense of cunning. Sharp and cunning. Ew, yeah.
I don't know that I've ever used it in that way.
That's mainly British slang.
Oh.
Wow. Fly's going to be my favorite goddamn word after this. These aren't even urban dictionaries. This is just regular, good old fashioned
dictionary.
Yeah. Let's see. Slang. Stylish, attractive, sophisticated. She put on silver stilettos, her flyest outfit, and plenty of bling. Ready to party till dawn. All right. It is J-Lo.
She is always blinged out.
So I haven't heard anybody use Fly probably since 2000.
Speaking of which, is bling on our list?
If it's not, it should be. It's one of the obvious ones we should do.
Anyway.
We could bring Fly back.
I don't know that it ever necessarily went anywhere. I don't think it's as popular.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I haven't stopped hearing it. I just hear it less frequently. Like it was super intensely popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I think people still use it. And if they don't, then yes, we absolutely should bring it back.
That Sugar Ray song was pretty damn big. It kind of made their career.
Yeah.
Because did you
Although
ever hear
that wasn't talking about it in the way the slang term's used. He literally wanted to fly. I'm pretty sure it was a song about drugs.
Yeah. It was like the only commercial song on that album. Because that album, they were actually, it's like a hard rock band. And then that song came out. And
really?
Every song after that. Yeah, listen to that first album. Doesn't sound anything like Fly. Sounds.
If there's one bit of advice I can give to anybody wanting to use the word fly or learn anything about Mark McGrath, just if you're going to wear a sweater vest, that's fine. I don't necessarily condone it. But wear something under it.
He really did take the frosted tip thing and kill it.
Well, he didn't fully kill it because NSYNC came after they did, after Sugar Ray did. And,
really?
And there were some frosted tips in NSYNC.
Oh, and Seafoam. Ryan Seacrest, he kept it going. Thank God they all grew out of that. I have a hard time. Have you seen Mark McGrath lately?
The last time I saw him, it was on like a
hosting like Extra or something, right?
No, it was like a VH1 show about, the 90s.
Yeah.
Fairly recent. Like it wasn't, I don't know that it was on VH1. I think it was like on Paramount Plus, but it was a VH1 production.
He's done a lot of like the talk show stuff, like Entertainment Tonight kind of a vibe.
Actually, no, I take that back. It was about the 90s, but it was on Netflix.
Okay. But he's one of those guys that won't let go of how he was supposed to look back then.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the real fake tan and the really fake teeth. And I assume he's had some work done. And, like when guys try to still wear their hair that way, though they have half as much hair now. Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, really looking back on it, for him at any point to have been the epitome of what anybody should be into is probably a stretch. So,
and
I think that almost has to do as much with it as the aging. It's like it doesn't look as cool now because we're realizing how dumb it looked in the first place.
But there's like a way to age gracefully and not still look. Oh, what's his name? The singer to Papa Roach. What's his name? But I always had a problem with Papa Roach. I always thought he was cheesy. But then you were like, Buddy's knows the drummer. You guys are about to go see him open for Shinedown. You're all, what'd you think? I was like, it was one of the best bands I've ever seen live.
I can absolutely say that's not true about Sugar Ray.
True. But that best thing about Mark McGrath, he's the first one to admit that. Like, I know I can't sing. They had to do all the tuning down and all that stuff. And yeah, I think that was the downfall of them, because they got to a point where they needed somebody who can sing, and that he just, jumped.
Couldn't do that.
Is it Jacoby? Is that his name?
That sounds right.
From Papa Roach. I thought you would know that. I thought you were like a Papa Roach. Bughead.
Nope.
You
know
know
what they call them? Bugheads?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know hardly anything about Papa Roach. I just know their drummer by proxy.
Jacoby Shaddix. But anyways, he was, as a frontman, one of the best frontmen I've ever seen live, and sound just as good, if not better, than the actual albums. And he's as old as I am now, so I'm like, good on you, man.
Yeah, that's impressive.
He seems like he's sober, because they do a big whole thing about that kind of stuff, and they have a big thing about suicide and all that, prevention and all that. It's really great, but was totally surprised by that. I would be more surprised if we went to saw the Sugar Ray reunion and Mark McGrath did that.
I don't think you're gonna see that.
Ain't gonna happen. For like 2 summers there though, man, Sugar Ray was huge.
Yeah, I think it was the same 2 summers that Smash Mouth was huge.
Yeah.
So I think we really need to look inwards and figure out what the fuck was wrong with us for 2 summers.
And then the Offspring came in and wiped them all out. The Offspring, you Offspring fan? I know we've brought them up a couple times.
I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to them. I don't dislike them.
Same. I don't want to call them mid or anything, because I think when they do stuff and they do it well, it's really good. It's just after I've heard one song at that guy, the way he sings, I've heard enough. I'm good. Like, I can't hear 3 or 4 of those songs in a row. It's just too much of like that.
It's funny because he's on the same mental level as like Rivers from Weezer is.
Yeah,
but Rivers takes that mental level and applies it to the music and knows how to write a song that's a hit, because there's a systematic way to do that. Whereas Dexter is just really smart, but
and there was a handful of bands and
sings like a guy that needed like an outlet from being too smart as a child.
Oh, I could see that. There was a handful of bands like the Offspring and Sum 41 and who's the one that did Stacy's mom?
It wasn't Fountains of Wayne, was it?
Yeah, there was just, for like 5 years there was a handful of bands that almost did like silly stuff. So like the music was catchy and good and poppy and a little bit rock centric, but the stuff they were singing about and the way they were singing about it was kind of goofy. Like, it was like goofy punk.
So here's what happened. The 80s were perfect as a decade. Literally not one mistake was made. Okay, that's not entirely true. But the music, it's very hard to listen to the hits of the 80s and say, oh, I fucking hate this song. Like, they're all likable, for the most part, poppy and upbeat songs, right?
And how many of them are getting recovered with new songs now?
So many. So now you get to the early 90s and it's nothing but teenage angst and negativity and stuff like that. And for people of that time frame, I think you probably wanted it a little bit. Like when those bands got popular, that was like right at the beginning of when my parents got divorced and all that stuff. And so I never got to be like emo, but I went through an angsty stage where like Alice in Chains, which normally probably wouldn't be a band that I liked because of the weight of what they talk and they sing about, I really got to like. And really for me, it was more about the sound of the music than it was about the lyrics and the songs. Not that I dislike the lyrics and the songs, but
no, I get you.
But the music quality of what they do is fantastic. Anyways.
Alice in Chains to me was like Black Sabbath. Same thing.
Yeah.
They were so heavy, not my thing, but they did it so well. And I'm not technically into what they were singing about, but my God, stuff was good.
Yeah. And so you're going through that. And I think there was this stretch where it was like, this all got really heavy and we missed the 80s where it was light and free and stuff like that. So how do we force these two styles of music to make music babies? And so then you get that sort of poppy mid to late 90s, maybe even early 2000s look on some of these bands where like everything just was, it was radio rock.
Well, and if you think about it, that really heaviness that just came and demolished everything for like 3 to 5 years, that only other thing you could listen to was pop, like pop, like Britney Spears or before that.
That's the other thing too, is all these bands that were popular during that stretch were all trying to.
They were in between both of those.
They were all trying to get on TRL.
Yep.
And the only way you got on TRL was by having something that was palatable to everybody.
14-year-old girls. They rule the world.
Yeah, that checks out.
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, Taylor Swift right now runs the world. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see her at Liverpool? At Anfield? Klopp went and everything.
Did he?
Yeah, he came back home with a pink hat. He's almost Swiftie now. But it was amazing. Like, and Foo Fighters just played Man City.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of freaking people there. So, actually, my boys, they're pretty fly. Guys from Extreme, they just played Rock in Rio or whatever in Lisbon, in Portugal. And I'm saying it's not Rock in Rio, but it's, anyway, back home. That's where Nuno's from. The guitar player's from Portugal. So he's huge there. It looked like 100,000 people. It looked bigger than the Freddie Mercury concert.
No way.
I'll show you the footage. It's insane. And they killed it. So I was just like, wow, good on those guys. So let's get back to bands that are lame.
Bands that aren't fly?
Yeah.
Wait, why do we want to talk about bands that are lame?
I don't know. We want to talk about fly.
Okay, we want to talk about fly. What are things, so when fly was popular was the 90s, what are things that you thought were fly in the 90s?
Crystal Pepsi.
Okay.
You know that's a lie.
Yeah, and I do know it's a lie. You're not wrong. It was fly, but
I wanted to like it so much.
You should have liked it. It was the best of all worlds. You got Pepsi taste without staining your clothes when you invariably spilled it on you.
I don't know. In the 90s, for a hot minute, I thought the TRL thing was cool because until it became what it became. But it took what MTV needed to do and it was like kind of the first thing of putting it in the hands of the people who actually listen to that. But then it turned into whatever 12-year-old and 14-year-old girls wanted. And that's what MTV became. So I didn't mind TRL when it first came out. 90s, my favorite movie was made in the 90s. The Crow.
Yeah.
Which we had the pleasure of going to watch the 30th anniversary on the big screen because I never got to see it back then. And Crow Flies. Pretty fly movie.
Yeah. The Crow.
Which they've remade, and I don't know why you would release The Crow again. The good one, or the original one, before you're going to release the new one.
Or not even that. Like, I mean, I know why they would do it because they know the new one's going to suck. But just like,
did you hear Skarsgård even came out and said, who's playing the new Crow? He's like, I don't like the way they ended it. He's all, it should have been ended, but they've left it open so he could keep going.
Right. That's how they do every movie right now.
Yeah. He's like, I just wanted it to be wrapped up in one thing, which honestly, if you're going to make Crow movies, that's probably the way you should go. Let's just do a different Crow every time.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Crow TV show?
No.
Yeah, it starred, I don't remember his name. He's the one who was the announcer for the American Iron Chef. Or maybe it wasn't the American, or maybe it was just the regular Iron Chef. I thought it was the American one. Asian guy, his eyes were all bugged out, but he played the Crow on TV.
That's why he always looked familiar. Maybe I did watch The Crow on TV.
I was just like, because that was the first thing I think I don't know if it's the first thing he did. It's the first thing I ever saw.
Also, I'm pretty sure Alton Brown wasn't in The Crow.
Well, maybe that's why we love it so much. Maybe he was.
Maybe.
Wasn't he Fun Boy?
Maybe. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's him.
Mark Dacascos?
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
You got any more?
90s. I was a big fan of Sonic. I got to my fattest in, I think, mid 90s.
Oh, okay. So
what about you?
I'm also going to go Sonic, but I'm going to go with the Hedgehog.
I was a huge Sonic fan.
Yeah, Sonic was fun. I think technically it started late 80s, but I was still having fun with it in the 90s. LA Gear Catapult shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, those were pretty fly.
I'm going to need to look those up. I'm trying to remember what those look like. It wasn't LA Gear a women's fitness brand? Or is that why you liked him in the 90s? Was it something Kathy Ireland wore?
I think, well, maybe. I think it may have started that way. It's like anything else, right? I don't think British Knights started as anything cool. And then all of a sudden you could get them for free by playing Double Dare. What else did I think was fly during hypercolor t-shirts? I thought those were fly as shit. I was one of very few.
You would have thought my band was fly.
I don't know that that's the case.
Hey, we had hypercolor ball caps.
Did you really?
I mean, we leaned into the hot pink thing. I don't know fucking why.
That's all right.
I don't know.
I thought my the area I lived in getting a new hockey team was pretty fly.
Mm-hmm. The San Jose Flies, right? Fireflies.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I could probably go on forever about things that I thought were fly during the 90s because I feel like there were a lot of different things that I just really liked in the 90s. There were a lot of things I hated too because, I mean, that's my nature. But
it is your nature. I think we were talking about that earlier.
Probably. There are probably even things that I hated then that I like now. Like, I don't think I was a fan of, like, rap then.
Oh, but really? You didn't like?
But I fucking love 90s rap now.
I was gonna say, how did you? Everybody loved Dre.
Not everybody.
Are you serious?
I don't remember.
That sound was undeniable. I was full in a rock guy, but that sound was undeniable.
And I started college in 98 in Long Beach. And so there was a lot of Dre and Snoop like that.
And that was after, that had been out for like
3-4 years at that point.
Even longer, I think.
Maybe. But it's like, I think I heard it so frequently at that point, then it stopped being as exciting.
Oh, you being a Cali boy, you probably would have heard that stuff a lot.
Yeah, I did. I did not think Sublime was fly. They were also popular in Long Beach at that time.
I'm glad you said that. I thought for sure you'd be a Sublime fan.
No, I don't like Sublime.
I hate Sublime. My wife, everybody I know loves Sublime. I found a guy singing about date rape absolutely annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that bothers me more than somebody who gets famous after they've OD'd on heroin. And that's what happened with them.
Yeah, at least Lane Staley was famous before he OD'd on heroin.
Yeah, at least put out a couple albums or something. I hear a few of their songs like Santeria. Is that the songs?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's got such a California vibe. I get that stuff. But I just, was it 2 joints in the morning or whatever, all that stuff.
Smoke 2 joints.
Yeah, it's just, I'm like, it's trying too hard to be surfer culture. Yeah, I don't know.
Hot take. It was trying to make West Coast rap for white people.
Yeah, like white trash white people.
Like, I want to listen to rap, but I'm white, and that's a different culture that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take conceptually some of the same things and give them a surfer vibe so that it applies to the white people that don't want to feel like they're not part of the group by listening to rap.
And I could see it being huge in surfer culture. And I know at the end of the day, people just want to feel good and dance when they're at a show. So.
Which is also shitty. Now, I'm not saying that Sublime and their members didn't go through this stuff, but part of the beauty of rap and what they sing about, I think one of the things that was beautiful to a certain extent about 90s rap culture, and we didn't all understand it, right? We thought that they were singing about things that were all choices and whatnot, but like they were truly singing about like what they were going through.
Right? Okay, that makes sense.
And so instead of the other side, not the other side, the white side of culture, like shying away from that and trying to find something else to latch onto, if they had done more active listening to that when it was going on, it may have given them a better appreciation for what other people were going through. Like, why not try to understand what other people are going through instead of like shutting that down because you don't feel part of the group?
Yeah. Well, and I love California. I love California's vibe. I love lots of stuff, but there are shitty things in California. And one of the things I've always hated was the underground crackhead piece of crap. Not that all surfers are like that, but there was an undercurrent of that with the surfing culture. Undercurrent,
pun intended.
Undertow. but like it just didn't cater to me, and that felt like that was their, hey, Sublime, that's our guy. It's like guys who were like,
there were definitely surfers that are no different than the homeless people you encounter every single day. They just have something to do with their free time during the day.
yeah, but they will.
There are plenty of surfers that are like, they're like business guys that just need to get it out of their head and want to be out on the water and free and all that stuff. And I get that. But there is a large culture shift that goes towards those that they literally don't want to do anything else and can't afford to do anything else and probably don't necessarily have a place to live. But
those guys aren't Fly.
No.
I didn't know Fly was going to be so Fly.
We talked about a lot of things that weren't.
I think it's because I picked a really good word, and I should get some credit. I'm pretty Fly for a white guy podcast host.
Are you?
Am I?
No.
Shit. Yeah, got that going for me.
No.
Anything you consider Fly anymore, like now? It could be anything: clothes, alcohol, a band.
I think the return of the DeLorean's pretty Fly.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. That thing is sick.
Yeah, like the old DeLorean, I would have only wanted because of Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
This new one is just badass.
Yeah, I hope it holds up. It's gorgeous.
It is freaking beautiful.
But it'd be kind of nice if it came out and it was a total lemon. Kind of just, hey, we had to make sure it was just like the old one.
Right.
This one can at least get to 88 miles an hour for real, because the other one could.
I guess I have a concern because I feel at some point, we're looking at another Back to the Future. Hopefully where they don't try to like redo it. It's just like a new Back to the Future movie. And I'm hoping they go with the new DeLorean because that would be cool. But I'm terrified that they'll go with the Cybertruck since it looks like they took a DeLorean, turned it around, and then stretched it out.
No, they'll do it on a Segway or something like that. It'll be awesome. Or they won't even use a vehicle. It'll be their cell phone or something. We'll take them back in time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should write that. I got to get out of here. I got to write that down.
No.
Trademark. That counts, right?
I don't think so.
I think so.
I also don't think that's a good idea. Like, I think they should still be on some sort of moving automobile device that doesn't fly, even though we're past 2015.
All right. Well, as always, I'm your main host, Dan. And always with me is my sidekick. That's not Fly. Isn't it going to fly?
That is not going to fly.
Fuck. Thought I'd try it.
Do we even look up the definition on UD?
From Urban Dictionary, Fly, Northern Irish slang meaning unfair, cruel, unkind, or bigoted, stubborn. That sounds way too grown up for Urban Dictionary.
It does kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Fly. To be fly is to be cool and amazing and awesome. The 90s adjective that needs to make a comeback, like fresh or dope, basically to describe something cool. We should do dope.
We should do dope.
Fly, the most annoying creature to be created. Pretty close. Northern Irish slang, though. I kind of like. I'd like to figure out if that's true.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Well, Slangers, we love having you here. Keep looking us up on all our socials. Find us on, or tell your friends to find us on any of the places that have us. Spotify, Apple.
Please tell your friends.
Tell them all. Tell them imagine how fly you would be.
I keep telling my friends and they listen, but then they talk to me about it. I'm like, don't talk to me about it. I'm the host of the show. Talk to somebody else about it.
Yeah. Hey, that podcast you're on, you ever think about listening to it? Fuck no.
Have you heard that thing? Why would I listen to it?
I started listening to it, fell asleep, and crashed my DeLorean. So thank you for that. It's pretty fly. Well, I thought I was pretty fly for a white guy, but I am pretty fly for a podcast host, co-host.
Oh, now you're going to admit that you're a co-host?
Yes. I couldn't do this without you, man.
I know.
I literally couldn't do this without you.
I know.
Guess I need to end it right there. All
right. It's like our version of "I love you, man." I know.
That's our shirts.
It's
right.
It's the scene we're gonna have to draw ourselves as if as if I'm Solo and you're Leia.
And I'm like,
I couldn't do this without you, man. I know.
Talk about the most pimp move. I like to think that Harrison Ford thought that up on his own.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's the best. I was a little kid and I was just like, damn.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
This can go one of two ways. Apparently, you end up having kids and one of them becomes dark side.
Mm-hmm. Just put your arms around me, baby. Please. Anybody? Hello? Mark? You out there?
Good night, Slangers. Or I guess if you're listening to this in the morning. Good afternoon, Slangers.
Nice. Way to save that for it. Didn't I get something wrong the other day?
Yes.
It wasn't like as bad as
you're going to have to be slightly more
thing,
specific. Come on.
What?
It's probably worse.
No, the eyeball thing was pretty bad.
What was it?
Oh. Yeah.
We definitely talked about it when we were recapping the Foo Bar episode.
I need to apologize because I brought up the board game and I called it Perfection.
Oh, yeah.
No, I called it Concentration in its perfection.
Yeah. I think that, I don't think that was your only error, and I'm not even sure it's the one we talked about. But I do think
no, that's the only error. And I apologize to you, Mattel, or whoever the hell owns that game.
But I do think that it's important that if you haven't listened before, I'm sure I've said this before, but I haven't said it in a while, that to take down this fourth wall for a second. On Wednesdays when the episode comes out, I actually make it a point to listen to our episode. One, because I need listens. Come on, people, give me listens. But also because I want to hear back what we did. And I am, as much as I don't prepare to record any of these episodes, I also don't prepare by listening to them ahead of time, which he allows me to do by uploading them. Yep. So I don't listen to them until they're live, which means we never edit the things that drive me nuts. And so,
how bad would editing be, though?
We would never be able to release an episode.
Because you'd be like, I got another joke. I forgot this joke right here. Yeah. Can we put this in? I'll be like,
no, it's good that I don't listen to them till release day, because we'd never be able to release an episode if we did it the other way. But yeah, we go through and I listen to the episode and immediately at some point during that episode call Dan and I'm like, I missed this joke, or you really fucked this up, or she doesn't have a glass eye, whatever it happens to be. And so we take moments like this to kind of give each other shit for.
Well, and honestly, I do that in editing too. I'll hear something where it's like, oh, I should have fixed that, or I hear the joke then and I have it, but it's like if we were to keep editing, we would be.
The worst part for me is we'll be talking about something, and I'll make a reference, and I won't finish that reference. I'll be like, I don't remember, mid episode, right?
Yeah.
And in the moment in the car, I go, you fucking idiot, it's blank.
Mm-hmm.
And then almost invariably in less than 2 minutes on the podcast, I come up with it. And I'm like, oh,
it's so different.
Why do I not remember recording that?
It's so different when the microphone's not in front. That's just how easy the info comes. Okay, but I don't know.
Because there's no pressure.
Is there pressure?
But
did I put pressure on you?
But in here, I'm under pressure.
Was that your best Freddie Mercury?
No, that was my worst Freddie Mercury.
Or was that your David Bowie?
That was my Freddie Mercury.
Okay. Because they both say it.
I know.
Do you?
Yes, I do.